Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
I don't like to discuss numbers like this, but it cost me $300,000 to break even on my business. I need to do $300,000 in sales a year to break even on my business. Last year, I was able to open for 6 out of 12 months. In those 6 months, I did $180,000 in sales, leaving $120,000 unaccounted for before I break even. The government generously gave me $40,000, right? So that leaves me with $80,000 left over, which means it cost me $80,000 to go to work last year. So yeah, I mean, there's not too many years you can do that before you don't have a business anymore. So we're going to set up another day. We're going to try to rally the gyms together, and we're going to reopen. And civil disobedience is the only way to do it.
Hey guys, this is extremely important. Rebel News is going to keep fighting to bring you the other side of the story. But it's only a matter of time before YouTube shuts us down entirely. So I need you to go to rebelnews.com now and sign up to make sure you don't miss out on any of the action. Hey, Adam Soos for Rebel News here, and today I am at Sweat Science Boxing in Calgary. Club owner Dustin Sutley has been the focus of ongoing harassment because he refused to shut down. So I am here to showcase Dustin's boxing gym as our latest iwillopen.com business. That website is our special portal where businesses can contact us to let us know that they are defying lockdown orders so we can tell their stories. So Dustin, thanks so much for joining me. I thought we'd maybe share a little bit about your business. How long have you been here, and what's it like running the business?
Up until about 14 months ago, it was great. We opened up just shy of 5 years ago. It'll be 5 years in October. Inglewood's been a great place to have a boxing studio, and things were great. I mean, we started building our business up. We started getting to the point where we were becoming sustainable, which is hard as a small business, but we successfully hit that point right before we went into our first lockdown.
And how has the lockdown affected business? The repeated lockdowns now, but how has your business been affected by COVID and these regulations in general?
It's been affected in many ways. I've tried to really break it down into layman's terms on what it's cost me over the last year. So I don't like to discuss numbers like this, but it cost me $300,000 to break even on my business. I need to do $300,000 in sales a year to break even on my business. Last year, I was able to open for 6 out of 12 months. In those 6 months, I did $180,000 in sales, leaving $120,000 unaccounted for before I break even. The government generously gave me $40,000. Right? So that leaves me with $80,000 left over, which means it cost me $80,000 to go to work last year. So yeah, I mean, there's not too many years you can do that before you don't have a business anymore.
And I think for lots of people, they might have a job and they're laid off for a bit, they go on CERB. Lots of people don't understand how this is affecting business owners. Like, a little bit of a subsidy from the government isn't helping you stay open. It isn't even helping you put food on the tables. It's just maybe putting a bit of a dent in that hole. What, in light of all this sort of economic considerations, inspired you to open despite the lockdown measures?
I mean, yes, I want to have a successful business. Otherwise, I wouldn't have got into business. But that isn't why I do what I do. I do what I do because I know what boxing did for me, and I know what it does for my clientele. You know, we have people that are facing drug addictions. We have people that are facing high levels of stress and anxiety and depression and everything that was going on before this. And then that's all like been magnified since we went into lockdowns. And it's a terrible thing happening right now with the amount of suicides and the amount of like issues we're seeing amongst our population. And when I start seeing my clients falling into depression and my clients relapsing, going back on drugs, that's when I really feel like we need to open these doors. Like, people are dying. And unless we are able to open these doors back up, they're going to continue to die.
So then what has the response been from those clients who have come back since you've opened, and from the public in general?
I mean, the response has been pretty overwhelming. The silent majority likes to speak when this stuff happens, and they definitely support our business. And when we were going against the lockdowns, we were opening our business, we were busy and people were coming in. Yes, you have some people that in the background go against this and say it's irresponsible, but these people aren't losing their livelihoods. These people aren't losing their businesses. These people also don't go to gyms. So for the gyms that are like scared of doing this and not complying, the people you're going to make angry were never part of your business anyways. So I don't understand why you would be trying to keep them happy.
And so I've been following some of your social media, and you seem to have been trying to jump through loops to keep Alberta Health Services and the government happy. What's the process been like with them? How have they been coming after you? And what's that entire experience been like?
I mean, we started a campaign called We Are Not Closing right before we went into these last lockdowns to spread or shine some light on the physical and mental deterioration of our population throughout all this. When we're not allowed to go work out, we're not allowed to stay healthy. And we had a lot of people jump on board, a lot of gyms saying they were going to open up. Some of the problems we ran into is lots of those gyms that were going to open up were part of franchises. Those franchises came down on them and said, if you continue to do business, we're going to pull your franchise, or we're going to pull support from your franchise. So they had to back out, which left some independents that were spread out throughout the province, not in a tight enough area to make a difference. So I decided I was going to continue to stay open, even though it was basically just me in Calgary. And we wanted to see what the process was, and we wanted to see how they played it out. And we got rated. They came in, the city, AHS, the province, the city, AHS, and CPS. They all came in. They rated us during an 11-year-old or a class full of 11-year-old kids in the back, and the intimidation tactics are really funny. They're coming in. They're saying you have to shut down. This is irresponsible. They're telling you about all these criminal charges you can get and how you can be arrested and so on, which none of that is true. I wanted to go through the process. We said we're going to stay open, so we did. Long story short, there's only 3 or 4 steps. It takes about 2 weeks, and then you're in imminent danger of losing your business license. So it's the cards are really stacked against us. They detour us into criminal charges. So basically, after they come in, they say you need to follow our orders or you can't open. They give you an executive order. That executive order needs to be followed. Otherwise, they're going to start giving you fines. Once they start giving you fines, which will get thrown out in court either way, but it's an intimidation tactic, they use that until they realize you're not scared of these fines and you're going to push past that. Once they do that, they get a court order that says you need to operate this way to move forward. Once you don't follow those rules and you open up, then you're in contempt of the court. Then they can and they will jail you for up to 90 days, like we've seen with the pastor in Alberta. And they do this strategically, knowing that when you post bail to get out, in your release conditions, it's going to say you need to operate your business this way or you can't open your business. And when you go to open your business, they're going to hit you with breaches of your release, which is a criminal charge. And now you're being sidetracked into criminal charges personally, while all you're trying to do is fight a civil fight to open your business and have the right to provide for yourself and your family.
So in the face of all these economic challenges, the legal challenges, the threats, the intimidation, what's the plan moving forward?
So at this time, we're supporting Dustin and we're supporting his cause to stay open. We do not agree with the lockdowns. And what's occurring right now is that the governments are lobbying the judges, and the judges are agreeing to delay cases. Not only are lawsuits expensive to bring forward, but we now see that the judges are willing to defer hearing of evidence because the government needs more time to gather evidence. We find this absolutely repugnant. And as lawyers, we are completely disappointed because we have hundreds of people contacting us that want to fight back. But we are telling them that the court is not their friend. People are afraid of the governments, and we know that they cannot rely on the courts for timely hearing of these issues. And that is why civil disobedience at this time is so important, because the governments have really left us no other choice but to say no and to stop complying.
The system doesn't work. There's no way we can get through the system and have anything work out in our favor that will take less than 2 to 3 years. So we're going to set up another day. We're going to try to rally the gyms together, and we're going to reopen. And civil disobedience is the only way to do it. We need everybody to say enough is enough, open their doors. We've already agreed that opening gyms are safe. Alberta's own numbers, we got these numbers through the Freedom of Information Act, a request that was sent in, shows that between June and September of last year, There were 4 million workouts from coast to coast in Canada, and there were 137 confirmed cases. That's a 0.0037% chance of transmission. We've all agreed it's safe. We've all said it's safe except for the government. So it's time for everybody to get together and just open our doors. There's too many of us for them to do anything if we decide to do that.
And do you have any messages specifically for Alberta Health Services and the government of Alberta?
I mean, you can't keep telling us how to live our lives. You can't keep closing our businesses down. You have created a totem pole deciding which businesses get to stay open and which businesses have to stay closed. And it's an unfair totem pole. For some of us, we have to like lose everything. And for others, like Walmart and Costco and these huge places that don't have any limitations on how many people are coming into their business, it's completely unfair. And you're crushing the small business in Alberta.
Well, I thank you for taking this stand and thank you for resisting. For anyone out there who's facing extreme challenges like this, I encourage you to go to fightthefines.com. Dustin is not alone in his struggle of economic survival. So go to fightthefines.com and share your story. We've hired a team of lawyers and we're going to bat for the little guys. You are not alone in this fight. For Rebel News at Sweat Science Boxing, I'm Adam Soos. Hey guys, this is extremely important. Rebel News is going to keep fighting to bring you the other side of the story, but it's only a matter of time before YouTube shuts us down entirely. So I need you to go to rebelnews.com now and sign up to make sure you don't miss out on any of the action.